For men, looks now matter less than they used to. A video popped up on my feed that really caught my attention because the title is exactly the opposite of something I'd just recently been writing about. It's a video by Hamza that says looks are more important than ever. And I'll link to that video below. I recommend that you watch it. This is a response to this video. I want to make some nuanced points here because I do think that looks are much less important than most men think. Right off the bat, let me say that I don't disagree with most of the things that Hamza says in this video. And it's absolutely true that upgrading your looks is a benefit. He calls it an asset, right? Why wouldn't you want this asset? If you can be in better shape, if you're well groomed, you take care of yourself, that's an asset. Why wouldn't you want that? It's an advantage. And that is not wrong. But I want to make what is maybe a nuanced point here, and I'd be really interested to invite discussion. So this is not about, saying he's wrong, I'm right, or anything like that. I think this is something worth discussing and worth thinking about. So why is my point that looks are actually less important than you think they are? Well, here's one really important factor. For the vast majority of men, improving your looks will just not take you far enough for it to make a big difference. At least not in the domains that you are playing. So here's what I mean. If you think about the distribution of attractiveness among all men, it'll probably be a bell curve, like most distributions, right? Which is most of us are average attractiveness, and then there's fewer and fewer people, on the extreme ugly and the extremely attractive end of the spectrum. And if you paid any attention to data that's come out of, dating apps and whatnot, and you know that it is essentially the top 10 to 20% of men garner all of the female attraction, all of the female attention pretty much. And why is that relevant? Well, because on dating apps, it's all about your appearance, right? It's almost entirely about your appearance. That is what determines your success there. And yes, there's also the halo effect, a well-studied effect in psychology, which shows that attractive people have other advantages. If you are, as a guy, if you're, tall and broad-shouldered and handsome, strong jawline, etc., that people will generally take you more seriously and you have better chances of winning an election and things like that, right? It's your physical appearance, your physical attractiveness has positive knock-on effects on many areas of life. For most men, and I'm included in that group of men, right? Like somewhere around the average, right? Most of us are of average attractiveness. Most of us are nowhere near the top 20% of attractive men. For someone like me, no matter what I do to try and improve my looks, I will never get into the top 20%, okay? There's just nothing. I can do all the mewing in the world and I can do all the posture correction exercises and work out in the gym and maybe get a hair transplant or whatever. I will still be nowhere near the top 20% of attractive men. And this is the nuanced point that I want to make. If you have the expectation that you can get the results of a highly attractive male, but you don't happen to have those kinds of genetics, and some of this is genetically predetermined, right? How tall you are, like your bone structure and whatnot. I know these are kind of incel talking points or red pill, black pill talking points or whatever, but there is some truth to that. If you compare Jason Momoa to me, you can clearly see there's some genetic differences there's a gap there that I will never be able to bridge no matter what I do. And so if you think that you can do things like you can work out and you can do your mewing and do other stuff to improve your looks and eventually be able to swipe on Tinder and get great results, I think that for the majority of men, that's just not going to happen. And what's worse is if you think that's going to happen, and this is the key thing, if you care too much about your looks, if you put too much emphasis on what you look like, on your physical appearance, you care too much about that because you think you can break into the top 20% and then live life in easy mode, that puts you on the back foot. That puts you at a great disadvantage. You can be in a situation where you're constantly chasing this finish line at the horizon that never comes closer. And you think, okay, well, I have to, work out even harder. I have to have bigger muscles. I have to have crisper abs. I have to have a better hairline. I have to have a more symmetrical face. I have to chew on some jawline trainer to try and improve that and so on. But it's just never going to happen. And this obsession with trying to improve your looks, trying to figure out, where's the mistake? Am I too asymmetrical here? Is my brow wrong or whatever, right? Obsession with all these details about how to try and improve your looks further. Obsession with, am I fashionable enough and so on, makes you less attractive. It puts you in a grasping mindset, right? You're grasping for this stuff. You're thinking, what's the secret? What's the one more thing? Should I start taking steroids? Where's the thing that will finally give me what I want? And that makes you very unattractive. Not physically, but as a person, that makes you less attractive. It makes you desperate and needy and validation seeking. And it puts you in a situation where you're constantly failing. That doesn't make you attractive. If you're a guy like me and like most guys, you're somewhere right in the middle of the bell curve in terms of your physical attractiveness. I think it's a mistake to put too much emphasis on your physical appearance and hope that that will be your salvation eventually if you do enough of it. And it's a mistake to keep playing the games that reward the people who are on the far end of the attractiveness spectrum and trying to join them. What I propose, what I think you should do, and what I think is basically puts you in a position to have a much better success rate and a much better life in general, is if you care much less about your looks and you play a different game. So for someone like me, I'm just going to use myself as an example, right? If I try to have a dating life, if I try to have a successful dating life using Tinder, that is basically going to be an experience of endless frustration. And if I try to constantly, optimize my profile, take better pics, be in better shape, take a topless pic where my abs are visible, whatever, trying to play that game is just endless frustration. Instead, if I focus more on becoming an attractive person, on having attractive personality traits, and as a man, especially as a man, we are in such a good position because you can be attractive in so many ways, right? You can be an ambitious, switched on, kind of gentle but strong man who's on his purpose. You can be interesting and intelligent and interested, and it makes you so attractive, okay? That makes you genuinely highly attractive to women. And none of that has to do with what you look like. And all you need is exposure to women, or in other words, you need to have women be exposed to you through something other than pictures on a phone, right? Through something other than swiping through Tinder profiles or Instagram or whatever. These platforms are not winning platforms for the majority of men. So don't play that game, right? If you become an attractive male and you put yourself in situations, you put yourself in social situations, like in the real world, social situations, where women get to experience you as a person, you can be so much more attractive than the endless fuckboys on Tinder. This is a game where your physical attractiveness matters a lot less. It matters a lot less than most people think. Now, that's not to say that physical attractiveness is not important. I think that you should be in good shape, you should exercise and train and move, but you should primarily do it because you want to. You should find some physical activity that you like doing, that you can maybe pursue, where you can pursue mastery, where you can maybe compete. Because, look, if you go to the gym trying to build an Instagram fitness model body, again, for the vast majority of men, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen unless you have freakishly good genetics and you're taking steroids. You will never look like that. And the endless pursuit of the thing you're never going to get and always feeling like you're not enough because you don't look like that doesn't make you attractive. But if you're really into Brazilian jiu-jitsu or whatever, and you compete and you do that and you love it and you're passionate about it, and you're not bodybuilding, right? You're not bodybuilding and desperately trying to have slightly better delts or something. But you're pursuing your sport, whatever that is, and you're doing it passionately and you're doing it well, then you will have a good physique. Right? And that's what you should do. You should do something physical that you're passionate about, that you're maybe competitive at, and that you like doing. And a good physique, a better physique, being in good shape is a side effect of doing that. But in addition to just making you look better, it is also something that makes you more attractive as a person, because it's something that gives you, it means you have a life, right? It means you have something you care about that isn't just, oh my God, do I look good? How am I doing on Tinder? Chasing girls, being desperate, being needy, and so on. No, it gives you and other focus. This is for men so important, to have a focus in life, things in life that you pursue, that you care about, things in life where you are on your purpose, where you're doing your thing, where you have your own tribe and so on, right? These things make you attractive as a person. So I think the ideal approach for most guys is to approach the game in such a way that, again, you're not playing in the playing field where you're at a disadvantage because you're not genetically gifted, but instead you're doing things that have like this knock-on effect, that have the side effect of making you more attractive. And that is something like an athletic pursuit that has the side effect of making you physically more attractive and making you more attractive in character. And it's something like maybe an entrepreneurial pursuit that has the side effect of like making you, it levels up your skills. You're developing things like leadership skills, you're making money, you have more resources, it makes you a more attractive person, but it's the side effect of something else. And if you have that, and you do social things that give women the chance to experience you, that simply give women exposure to you, I think you'll be amazed at how much easier that game is to win at than endlessly swiping on Tinder. And just to be extra clear, right? None of this is saying that you should neglect your physical appearance and just like let yourself go and no personal hygiene and so on. All of these things are important, but de-emphasizing the importance of these things, caring less about them, like sort that stuff out and then stop caring about it. That, I think, is a winning strategy for more men. So I'd love to hear what you think about this. Like I said, I think this is worth discussing. So if you have other counterpoints, if you agree with me or disagree with me, I'd love to know. Like I said, link to the video I'm responding to is also below. And leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let's get a discussion going.